Hello, my name is Alex,
My name's Megan.
and we're doing the swimmer sling.
The sling we designed is for swimmers who do not have hands or arms. Every year, 347 trauma-related major upper extremity amputations are reported. This means out of every 100,000 trauma admissions, 46 of those result in an upper extremity amputation. The most frequent upper extremity amputation sites are the humerus, forearm, and the hand. Patients with isolated upper extremity amputations have reported to have significantly greater combined disability rate than those with isolated lower extremity amputations. Despite this, 19% of individuals in America with upper extremity amputations participate in sports. From that 19%, 21% participate in swimming. In swimming, there are 4 strokes you can participate in: freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, and butterfly. The sling will be predominantly used for backstroke swimming, which is demonstrated in the pictures on the slide. As you can see, this stroke traditionally begins with the swimmers in the water holding onto the platform bar in a flexed position with their feet close to the surface of the water. This is the only stroke that begins in the water and requires the swimmers to rely on their arms to hold themselves up and out. For athletes that have upper extremity amputations, this poses a problem because they cannot hold onto the bar. This also affects their total stroke due to the fact that the upper limbs contribute to the majority of propulsive forces during strokes, and the limb segment lengths may have varied contributions to the performance of swimmers depending on their unique stroke pattern. Having a proper start from the wall push-off can be the difference between winning a race and losing. So what device is currently out on the market for these athletes? Nothing. There are 21 million Americans with physical disabilities, many of which are eligible to compete in the Paralympic sports. As of right now, Paralympic swimmers with upper extremity amputations are biting on rubber bands and towels to hold themselves into the starting position. This creates a large amount of stress on their teeth, jaw, neck, and joints. This correlates with the fact that many swimmers with severe impairments do not have access to suitable training facilities and have considerably less training volume, which could stunt their training progression. The sling that we have designed will be the first on the market to target this population and can be used in any pool setting, eliminating the need for specific facilities. It will allow the swimmers to take a proper starting position, eliminating the unneeded pressure on the cervical spine, jaw, and teeth, while also giving them the opportunity to obtain a better starting position, which in turn will allow them to push themselves further off the wall into the pool.
As for our approaches, our frame of references and models are OA, or occupational adaptation, for the sense of mastery. The adaptive capacity involves recognizing the need for change, modification, and refinement, and this could lead to relative mastery over the environment, the interaction between the person and their environment, in this case, between the swimmer and the pool. And for the rehabilitation from reference, Cole-Tefano state, it is the adaptation of tasks and environment in order to compensate for lost physical body structures or functions. It also applies to the physics of human movement and posture with respect to the force of gravity. And for the model of occupational empowerment, this model looks at the client, the environment, and their empowerment in order to determine where improvements can be made in order to improve self-efficacy and the client's ability to create healthy routines through improvement occupational engagement. Clients are better off to able to control their own lives. As for the intervention approaches, create, which would be creating a new way of entering the pool, creating a new product that will allow the swimmer to hold their body weight up without having to hold onto a platform or bite a towel or rubber band, and to modify the current approach that they're currently using, which is the teeth gripping the rope, and establish a new routine in their swimming. The leisure, for our application, a leisure is for the enjoyment. Some swimmers just choose to enjoy it, or it could be for work, and working is a job, whether it's Olympics or paid to swim. Here's our ideas. So our concept, we drew out some ideas here, are blueprints of what the device would look like. As you can see, it would be able to hold the swimmer up as they're holding onto the block with their feet, and it would hold them up from the back. In the original idea, we were hoping it could hold up more of a body weight, and so the buckle had to be able to withstand more pressure. And as we projected, our device wasn't able to hold enough, but you can see from our trial where our errors were. How you're normally held up. No hands. And we're hoping that this strap can hold long enough to get us to push up the block. Currently, on the market, there's nothing for this. People hold it with their teeth a lot. But the device we're trying to create will break away when we're in this position and we push off. So that's the hold. This is the current hold. So if I have no arms, I want to block. My goal is to jump out of this thing. Oh, that's hard. Woo. As you can see, it doesn't break away. This is our current device. It has the straps and the clip is on the end. This is our prototype. The clip is a molding. So if I did not have arms, this would be the position that I would be in, probably holding on, and the straps would be holding me currently. And then as I went off the blocks, I would So this is test run number 2. As you can see, if I'm in the block, it should hold. As you can see, straps break. Our goal is to change the device into one that lasts a little bit longer. As for the material ideas of the strap is, there's a generic company, Finis, that creates a lot of swimmers' equipment, and they create the backstroke starting wedge. And so it would hook onto that. This is approved for competitions, and it's durable and reliable, and it fits most platforms. And they're also adjustable, and so the sling can become adjustable as well, making it more universal. As for the quick release and the versus durability, that was one of the issues we had, was our quick release had to be able to hold of a person. And so we tried many different forms of buckles, pins, and levers, and we came to the one on the bottom right that was basically a hook, and it broke away as the pressure was applied. And for probably we would want something that could break away with a little bit more pressure, and it could hold a little bit longer. As for the pulley system, similar. It would break away as the pressure is applied.
Ideally, this is how the sling would work. The sling can be placed anywhere the swimmer feels comfortable to get the proper start position, which will most likely be on the lower back or glute area. In backstroke, the first movement you do is move from neck flexion to neck extension, which is where the swimmer will pull the string to activate the breakaways located on the back of the sling. Then the swimmer will continue to elongate their body up and into the air and then back, creating a curve. In an instance that the breakaway pins malfunction and do not let the sling split into two, the body mechanics and directions of the swimmer should allow the sling to drop off the swimmer in the water. After the swimmer pushes off and enters the water, the coach can reach in and take out the sling. So training for this device will involve the coaches, caregivers, and swimmers. Training for the coaches or caregivers will involve showing them how to set up the sling on the platform, including setting the sling to the proper distance needed from the platform for the swimmer and making sure that the quick release system is put together. Training for the swimmer will include finding what position the sling feels best, how to get into that position, and how to activate the quick release system. This will take a team effort along with trial and error from all of the parties to find the right settings on the sling, as well as time to adjust to the device for races. We estimate the sling to cost between $40 to $50 on the market, allowing for the general population to purchase it through stores or online. However, we understand that this amount can still be a burden, since swimming is a sport that can be implemented in many settings, such as schools, clubs, for leisure, or professional. There is multiple funding sources available. Schools may have a sling available for students already. If the school does not have one, students can receive funding through the federally mandated programs such as special education, vocational rehabilitation, request it as part of their IEP, or through the provisions in Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973. There are also multiple government programs available for funding, such as the administration's Plan to Achieve Self-Support, or the PASS program. And for professional athletes that are sponsored, the sponsor may provide the funding for the sling itself.
As for the maintenance of the sling and repairs will be addressed by sending spare parts with the sling, much as buttons are sent for t-shirts or pants. We'll have replacement parts. Washing after use is recommended because the chlorine in the salt water can create damage depending on the material that we solidify. And store in a dry room or a temperate climate, which is room temperature, probably 59 to 77 degrees, making sure there's no damage from age. As for abandonment, the abandonment could come from a variety of reasons. Usage, which is if it's not being used enough, people might not see the need for it. If there's a competitor offering a cheaper price, maybe one that lasts a little bit longer, or if there's a malfunction. Because as the abandonment study by Segura stated, there were 900 participants in that study, and 19% of them decided to quit using their device. And this states that there is a relevance of losing interest in the device, and our goal is to allow our clients to want to use this device more often. And this is our references.